Hey, what's up? It's Mike, the NBA guy here, and I want to talk about the team who I think is possibly the most slept on team in the NBA at the moment. Because everyone's talking about, you got the Warriors and the Nets, everyone's saying they're going to come back and they're going to be better next season. You got obviously the big teams, the two LA teams, the Heat, obviously, the Bucks still. And then you got teams like the Celtics, the Sixers. If you're a Sixers fan, if you're not a Sixers fan, it seems like everyone's already written them off. But definitely the Celtics, maybe the Raptors to an extent. The Nuggets, the Rockets, the Thunder, the Jazz. You got all these other teams everybody's talking about. One team I think that has been written off way too fast already this season is the Indiana Pacers. All right, I have not seen anyone give this team, excuse me again, ugh. I haven't seen anyone give this team any freaking credit going into next season, okay? Like, they're obviously going to be a playoff team, but despite that, people treat them just like they treat the Magic. Like, they've been completely written off in the East as a first round exit. Nobody believes in them. And I want to look at this team and explain why I think, even if they're certainly not, I wouldn't even call them contenders, but I would say they are a dark horse in the East next season if everything goes perfectly, to be a really, like a very good team. I would not be shocked if they win 50 or more games next season, and I would not be shocked if they make the second round. Okay? And even the conference finals isn't completely unthinkable, depending on their matchup. So, looking at this team, look at their starters for the season. Malcolm Brogdon had the best season of his career, even if his efficiency definitely went down. Throughout the first month or two of the season, he was actually people were thinking he might make the All-Star team. He cooled off a little bit after that, but he was playing amazing to start the season. Victor Oladipo is still on the team, and as much as the trade rumors are still going around, Oladipo has said that he does not plan to leave the team, and the Pacers have said that they do not intend to part with him. So, look, I know you gotta take anything that these guys say with a grain of salt, but if the player and the team have both said that they would like Victor Oladipo to be in Indiana, then I'm kind of inclined to believe them. I'm kind of inclined to believe that at least to start the season, Oladipo's not getting traded. The Pacers are going to try to make it work out. So Oladipo's going to be on this team. Justin Holiday had a very good season last year. Not amazing or anything, but solid enough starting player. Same with his brother Aaron Holiday. TJ McConnell was good off the bench. TJ Warren had by far the best season of his career. He actually led the Pacers in points per game with 18 a game last season and was just very good, very efficient. He was amazing in the bubble, but in general, he just had a very good season. And Myles Turner was all right. Myles Turner's a weird player. I'm going to get to him in a second. I just forgot Domantas Sabonis somehow. Sabonis was an all-star. He was the best player on the Pacers this season. I don't think he would be an all-star if the all-star teams were made smartly, where positions and conferences didn't matter. NBA, what the fuck? It's 2020. You don't need to select certain people from different positions and different conferences. Just choose the best players. Like, it's the all-star team. Nobody wants to see Domantas Sabonis when they could have seen Bradley Beal or Devin Booker. It doesn't make any sense. But despite that, Domantas Sabonis is still a very good player. Still not in his prime yet. He's going to get a little bit better next season, presumably. All right, very good player. And then Myles Turner is the last player on this team who I find interesting. Actually, that's not true. Jeremy Lamb also was injured for half the season. He was all right enough when he played. He was the second leading scorer on the Hornets 2 years ago, but now here he's just a solid enough bench piece. Still a solid scoring piece off the bench. Not a bad player at all. Myles Turner, the way everyone talks about him, I thought Myles Turner was 27 because everyone talks about him like he's this dude who's a bust and he had all this potential and he just hasn't lived up to it and he's just an okay player. The dude is 23. Okay? The man's 23. He's playing with a power forward who used to be a center. All right, he went from being the main guy on this team to the team getting Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, and now Malcolm Brogdon and Jeremy Lamb. Okay? He was the only dude on this team before when he had all this hype about him, and now there's a bunch of other solid players, and he's playing his role. He shoots threes pretty good for a big man. He doesn't waste too much time in the post, even if he needs to improve his post-up skills for when he does. He's a solid enough rim protector, even if he definitely gets bullied by bigger guys like Embiid. He's definitely solid enough as a rim protector and a defender. He's just like a plenty solid player, and he's only 23. This dude is not in his prime yet. This man has plenty of potential, so I don't know why everyone has given up on him so fast. The dude can definitely keep getting better, especially in this modern NBA. Having a 7 foot tall dude who can hit threes is incredibly valuable. Look at Brook Lopez. I could absolutely see Myles Turner being the next Brook Lopez, where he's just a role-playing center who's a good rim protector, and he makes threes. Like, he could absolutely be that guy. So, looking at this team, there's no amazing talent that jumps out. Victor Oladipo in 2018 had an incredible season, but he's been injured since then. I mean, his season was, I really think it's become kind of underrated. The dude was ridiculous in 2018, okay? He was an all-star, he was an all-defense team guy, I'm almost positive, and definitely deservingly. I don't know if I wouldn't say he should have been all NBA, but like I think he was in contention for all NBA third team because he was just really, really good that year. I don't expect him to ever get back to that level again, sadly, but if he can just be a solid like 20 point per game scorer while being a very good defender, that's a fantastic guy. Okay, he can still be the best player on this team. He can still be an all-star, I think. Again, possibly. And if he can get back to an all-star level, even if he's not quite as good as he was in 2018, but if he's like slightly less than that, if he's like 90%, 95% of that, I think he is still a very, very good player in this league. All right, Domantas Sabonis, he's going to keep improving. Domantas Sabonis, Malcolm Brogdon, Myles Turner, these are all young players who are going to keep improving. So if Sabonis has a season slightly better than his last season, all right, if he can be a little bit better on defense still, it's iffy for him because he's not really a center, but he's not really a power forward either. He's a weird in between player, and in this weird modern NBA, where the center position is getting smaller, he should probably be a center, but they make it work well enough because Myles Turner can shoot threes, but it's still just a weird situation. So Myles Turner needs to keep improving his three-point shot. Sabonis would preferably also get a little bit better at three-pointers, and he also just needs to really work on staying in shape so he can defend the perimeter, because most nights, even if this team can have pretty good paint protection just by having both these dudes, they're really going to suffer from the fact that either Sabonis or Turner is probably going to be on a more perimeter-oriented player, and they're just not that fast. So the Pacers, first of all, their defense just needs to work on that to worry about it. Whoever their new coach is. And for the record, the old coach, despite winning a coach of the year before, I'm pretty sure Nate McMillan did, the dude just wasn't a very good coach. I'm glad the Sixers didn't sign him. Everything I've heard from Pacers fans is that he was not great, and so getting a better new coach could be huge for this team as well. All right. TJ Warren had his breakout season, especially in the bubble. I expect him to keep being very good. I wouldn't be shocked if he's actually still the team's leading scorer next season. If they just keep feeding him the ball and he can stay hot again, that would be fantastic for them. Not expecting an all-star season because he does very little outside of scoring, but having a lightning scorer in your starting lineup who can get you like 22 points a game a night, that's fantastic. TJ McConnell, he's never going to change, but he's great. He's a solid enough bench defender. He's an amazing hustle guy, fantastic locker room presence. I miss TJ on the Sixers. Even if he's really not that good, I still miss him. Doug McDermott is another solid player. Jeremy Lamb, like I said, I think he can be a very good contributing bench piece when he comes back. Malcolm Brogdon can keep getting better. He's a very good passer, and he had a down year this year in percentage, but this was his first season not playing with Giannis. So I think next season, Oladipo comes back, and the other guys keep improving, then Malcolm Brogdon can focus on being more of a playmaker and get his efficiency back up to good levels, and he's also an above-average defender. Very good player. So overall, I've just kind of been saying things about this team. I haven't really gotten to the point. How good can this team be this coming season? Like I said at the beginning, I think they can be a dark horse. I really do. There's no way they miss the playoffs in the East. Okay, even with the Nets being there, they're still unquestionably one of the 7 teams who's making the playoffs. And it's kind of weird how the East is because it's insanely top heavy. Unlike the West, where it's pretty top heavy. Like there's a couple teams you know are going to be in there, and then there's like 8 or 9 teams who could possibly make it anywhere between like the 5th and the 10th seed. So um, like it's very different. Meanwhile, in the East, you got 7 teams: Pacers, Sixers, Bucks, Heat, Nets, Celtics, and Raptors. Those 7 teams are 100% unquestionably making the playoffs unless some absurd amount of injuries happen. And then after that, you got like maybe the Magic make it, maybe the Bulls or the Hawks. Like it drops off a cliff after that in talent wise. But the Pacers could absolutely make a run at the second round. I see them being sort of a different version of the 2015 Hawks is what they remind me of a little bit, where they've got quite a few very talented guys, maybe only one guy who should actually be an all-star, whether that end up being Sabonis or Victor Oladipo, and definitely no all-NBA guys, but a very strong starting lineup and a pretty decent amount of depth, and that could let them win in the mid 50s of games, I honestly think. I don't believe in them in the playoffs at all. They could be a very good regular season team, and if they end up as a higher seed, they might be able to upset a lesser team, especially if the Raptors drop off a little bit more, or if the Nets really underperform like I think they will. They could have some kind of crazy upset and make it to the second round. I absolutely believe that, especially if they get a good coach. So, yeah, I just felt like talking about the Pacers. I just wanted to go over my thoughts on them. I think people are really underrating them for the next season, and I just want to give their team some respect, okay? Because they're going to be a pretty dang good team next year, and they're not necessarily a team who I would be thrilled to meet in the playoffs as another team in the East. They're not going to be swept again, assuming they don't get injured. Injuries are the key because they've been injured the last couple seasons on top of having a bad coach, and injuries have just been killing them. All right, they need to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, I really believe they can make the second round in the East next season. So yeah, that's what I need to say about the Pacers. All right, just don't sleep on them. Don't be surprised if they end up winning like 53 games next season and they make the second round. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, and please check out some of my other content. I would really appreciate that. Thank you.